Yo, what's going on? As you can see, back again, another episode of Late to the Party. Shout out to Dody. Dody is handling some family situations today. So I am back again alone. What I say? One is the loneliest number that you ever. Anyway, thank you for another. Welcome to another episode of Late to the Party with Dody and Reggie. I am Reggie. Shout out to Dody. Um, Today we're gonna make it quick because there's some stuff that I really don't want to touch on without Dody being here. Pause, right? Pause. But we are gonna go through a few things that happened, right? First, I want to start with some of the releases for this week, right? As far as music, you know what? First, um, I was wanting to do something for OG Mako, right? If you know OG Mako, he had the label OGG. He had, bitch, you guessed it, back in the day. Um, there was reports that he attempted suicide earlier this week. Then there was reports that he passed away from it, and then he didn't. So there, as of right now, in the feminist pod episode, there are still conflicting stories of what actually happened. So thoughts and prayers out to OG Mako, him, his family. Um, I mean, if he pulls through this, hopefully he does. I know there's a few things that he had been through: a car wreck. He had a flesh eating disease that came out a few years ago. So I know that can be a lot, and along with that, and then you trying to do a career thing, and the career thing is not actually working the way you want it to. So I know that could be a lot on him, but hey, if you blessings, you know what I'm saying. Hopefully he can pull through this and get some help on whichever end he needs help on. If y'all didn't know, which is crazy, while I was doing so, I did know Larry June. If y'all know who Larry June, West Coast rapper, he was with OGG, which is OG Maco's label. But while I was looking up stuff, I didn't know he had Doja Cat before Doja Cat was Doja Cat. I'm talking about, this is before she even made Bitch I'm a Cow, which, if you know, Bitch I'm a Cow is the song that really uh, made people start looking at her, and then she was able to show that she's actually talented. But and I think it was 2015, Doja Cat was actually signed with OG Maco. Like, the things that go on in the industry, like having an artist that might be signed over here or working over here, but that ain't how we hear them. You know what I'm saying? Even like stories of her, right? The R&B singer her, R&B singer her. But like, she came out as, I think her name was like Gabby Wilson or something when she was younger, or I think her name was, I know it was Gabby something, right? But it was her real name, whatever her real name is. But that didn't work out. But then she became her. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. So OG Mako had Doja Cat. We are late to the party. Our podcast has started off being late to the party for multiple of reasons. And as of right now, we only shoot one day a week, right? So when the Jay-Z, I'm talking about the Jay-Z story. When the Jay-Z story came out earlier this week, I'm like, okay, somebody now trying to get Jay, right? Um, but that story has fell into pieces over the past few days. So, if you didn't know, there was a story came out, or a lawsuit that had came out accusing Jay Z, along with Diddy and another female artist, or somebody that was there with Diddy and Jay Z, of some situational acts to a 13-year-old, right? Um, Now, reading that, now I'm not one of those people um that they trying to take the black. Now they are, they are. But if something happened, that shit should be called out, right? So it was weird seeing that along with everything else that's coming out, right? But reading that first statement, or that first um lawsuit coming out about Jay-Z. Me and my wife was reading it, and it just didn't seem right? And Jay-Z came back quick with a, let me see if I got his statement. He came back quick with a statement. So after everything came out, Jay-Z put out a statement. If I can get it to, he said, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. Now, Tony Busby, if you look him up, has been this lawyer. I think they said he has 100 different lawsuits against Diddy and himself. This man put up a number to, hey, if you want to, it's pretty much like if you want to join in on this lawsuit, put your name in this box and we'll just all join in together, right? But Jay put out, he said what he has calculated was the nature of the allegations in public scrutiny would make me want to settle, which makes sense, right? If you are this major figure, I'm pretty sure it happens a lot, where something happens, they come behind the scenes like, hey, if you don't want this out in the open, pay us this, right? And a lot of people, I could see a lot of people, even if you didn't do it, it might be cheaper to just say, here, pay for it, get it out the way, because of once it comes to the public, you already deemed guilty in the public, right? But long story short, Jay-Z put out a statement saying you will not get one red penny from me. And then it kind of just fell apart. After that, like the woman is now on like news networks. Her stories is messed up. Now they looking into Tony Busby and trying to figure out and he still talk about some, no, he on the up and up, and this is something that really happened. But they said the woman's the woman's father, right? Because the story was like the daughter was at a VMA Awards, I think, after party. Something happened, called her dad. Her dad came and picked her up at a gas station 5 hours away from their home. Like, even if me being a dad, right? I don't have little girls, right? But me being a dad, if you sneak out the house, then you call me and tell me you 5 hours away from where we live, even if you don't tell me that something happened, I'm going to question what the hell is going on. Why the hell are you, even if you sneak out the house, you might sneak out down the street 5 hours away. But anyway, the whole story fell apart. Late to the party. That's what we are. Dody's supposed to be here. We supposed to get deep. Pause. We supposed to talk about it, right? But I mean, over the week, the story it's just fell apart. You know what I'm saying? But we did have it, that we were supposed to, even the next day after the statement first came out, whether it's people in higher power with money going to the person that it actually happened to and paying off, or whatever happened. Hopefully it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But the next day, the NFL even put out a statement. They was asking Roger Goodell at a wherever they was at, but he was like, no, we're going to stand by Jay-Z. So even with that, even with them coming out so quick, because nowadays, as soon as something is out there, your name is dragged through the mud. They could, all your earnings and all your publicity could be thrown away that quick. You know what I'm saying? So, but the NFL came out, said anything, said they're not changing their story or changing their stance with Jay-Z. Another funny thing is seeing Jaguar right now. If y'all ever seen, me and Dody talked about Jaguar one time, because she's been, over the years, a little bit of everywhere, saying what Jay and all this and the story gonna come to the light. It's funny hearing her now say, I never said that. she on interviews like, no, I never said that. Baby girl, you was on Piers Morgan talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't been around the globe talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. But she coming out saying that she never said that. She never said something about Jay. I think if something happened to these little girls, lock every last one of them up, right? The side of they're trying to take down black men, people don't understand that when we say that, or when people say that, it's not because shit is only happening to black men. It's stuff is only happening to black men when there are other men in the limelight who has the same accusations or even worse accusations, that the scrutiny and the pull down is not happening to them like it should be. You get what I'm saying? The whole argument of, if you are on the side of like, nah, let that man out, it's not because what he did we okay with. It's the fact of, let's be consistent, right? If y'all not locking up Vince McMahon for his stuff that he done, you know what I'm saying? Where are we standing? Which side are we standing on? You know what I'm saying? That be the thing about watching them take down I guess the hip hop culture, the hip hop community. On one end, yes, if they did this and you have proof, lock them up, sit them down. But also go to that other side and do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But that could be a whole situation, man. But yeah, let's get on to something else. All right, 50 Cent. 50 Cent. It's the other side of the coin. It's Jade and it's 50, right? 50 Cent has been on a tour lately, not musically, but interviews. And this is what he does. You never know if he's actually promoting anything or 50 Cent just like being in the limelight, which I am of the belief that 50 Cent just like hearing himself talk. And I'm not going to lie, I like to hear 50 Cent talk as well, because he it's like he don't care to stand on what he stands on. So when I hear him talk, it's like I want to see what he's talking about, right? So before I get into Drake's op list of 50 Cent, one thing that I want to point out is 50 said in an interview with Big Boy that Drake had another diss record ready to go for Kendrick. This is the same thing that happened when he lost with Pusha T, right? Only thing is there's no lawsuits. But if you've seen how Drake been carrying himself lately, how he have seemed to be not bothered, but showing that he bothered, I don't see that type of person holding a diss track back, right? If you load it up, you ready to go, and you got one that's so powerful, why the hell did you bring out the Heart Part 6? Because that wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? And then if you are so ready to go, like, why are you not dropping another diss track? It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense when they was talking about it with Pusha T. It don't make sense about it now. You get what I'm saying? But that's what the word on the street is from 50 Cent, that there is another track ready to go for Kendrick. This is what I say. And I'm a nobody. We are nobodies in the whole grand scheme of things. But if Drake diss Kendrick again, which I don't, if Drake diss Kendrick again, I would want Kendrick just to let him do what he do. Just let him talk to himself, which at the rate that Kendrick is going right now, I don't think that will happen. But that's what I would want to happen. You know what I'm saying? I also just want Drake to leave it alone and give us some music. I put up a video on our TikTok. If y'all not following us, Late to the Party Knoxville on TikTok, I put up a video of just expressing, like, we don't even care. The community wouldn't even care about you losing a battle if you just got back to making music. It's the lawsuit that really just, if you was already leaving a bad taste in people's mouth beforehand, the lawsuit just brings it to a whole nother level. Not because we are so pro Kendrick or nothing like that. It's just weird. Like, we don't see that in the hip hop community, because somebody said something bad about you, now you want to sue. Bots or no bots. And I know Listen to me. But Drake said in the lawsuit, these are in the papers, that they bought it Not Like Us for 30 million views. 30 million views. The song has over 1 billion views over across all the platforms. Even if they did pay for 30 million extra views, where them other billions come from? They still out in the streets right now jamming to it. They still New Orleans right now, marching band to it. They at festivals, they at Rolling Louds, they playing it everywhere. It's everywhere. It's still one of them songs. So, but let's get to the op list. Now, before I even get to this op list, I don't believe the op list to be a real list that Drake sat down and wrote. But the way 50 Cent is talking about it, it seems like it's something Drake sat down and wrote. Hey, Drizzy, if you sitting down writing out your enemies and then passing, you texting them to 50 to make sure he approved, that's weird. But this was actually posted on a Instagram page or a TikTok social media. It was on Twitter from an account called Drake Debate, right? The op list, I'm not going to read everybody. I'm going to read the notables, I guess. Absol, TDE, of course. Adidas, Anthony Fantano, which is a YouTuber who rates music. He ain't never really gave Drake the highest praise, but a lot of the times his critique makes sense. You know what I'm saying? ASAP Rocky, Bobby Altoff, which who cares about her anymore? Busta Rhymes, which I don't know why Busta on the list. What Busta do, right? Charlamagne the God, Complex Music, Dave Free, Daylight, DeMar DeRozan, DJ Head, DJ Mustard, Dr. Dre, Donald Glover, Ebro, Elliott Wilson, Future, Hitter J3, Jack Dorsey, Jay-Z, Joe Budden, Kanye West, and of course Kendrick Lamar. Kid Cudi is on the list, LeBron James, Yachty, and that's some of the names, which is why I can't see this being a real list. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I don't see why 50 Cent is like just holding it up like this is the op list, right? Because him and Yachty to the internet had some problems, but Yachty is in his new clothing line, Brandon. So he wouldn't be an op if you paying him to be in, you know what I'm saying? Megan Thee Stallion, Metro Boomin, Marion, O'Shea Jackson Jr., which is Ice Cube's son, Peter Rosenberg, Pharrell Williams, Playboy Cardi, Diddy, Pusha T, Rihanna, Ross, Rockefeller, what you mean Rockefeller? Rockefeller doesn't exist anymore. It's Rock Nation. Rockefeller don't exist. Rockefeller, Roddy Ricch, Rory from the Rory and Mal podcast, Russell Westbrook, Schoolboy Q, Serena Williams, Sean C, SZA, TDE, the whole TDE. He naming people separately from TDE, but also the whole TDE. He got Punch on there from TDE, the Company Man, the Alchemist, the BET Awards, the Grammys, MTV, VMAs, NBA, the NFL, which he just got a new collab. Shout out to Drake for the collab though. But Tyler's collab with the NFL is a lot more versatile. You know what I'm saying? I like that a little bit better. Tommy the Clown, Tyler the Creator is also on the list. Whitney Alford and YG. Why would you put his wife on the list? I just think it's funny to have an op list, right? I don't even hate that many people to have a full list. If it's me, you just there, right? You exist, and their world is different. I don't know how often some of these people may run into each other, so it could be different. But me, hey, be oppy with yourself. You know what I mean? Go on by your lonesome. Once I don't like you, you know what I mean? I just don't like you. Mustard is on the list, but Mustard also just put out that Boy Wonder, which is Drake's producer. I think he produced Family Matters. I mean, he produces for a lot of people, but in the battle, he produced Family Matters as well. But Boy Wonder was one of the producers talk about some we don't rock with West Coast music, fuck Kendrick, all this stuff and da da da. But Mustard just put out something that Boy Wonder was congratulating him on hitting #1 with the Not Like Us song. Right? So now, does Boy Wonder get on the list? Right? Like, if if everybody on the list is due to connections, Boy Wonder got to be on the list. I just think that's funny. I don't know what the reasoning would be. Why would 50 Cent even go around showing that list? And 50 also said that everybody is hating on Drake because he been winning so long. That's everybody's go-to. When there's a group of people who don't like somebody, there's always a go-to of like, well, they've been winning so long, that's why they mad. First of all, Kendrick and Drake been going back and forth for years. Since the Control song. Ain't nobody gave a fuck that he was winning then. You get what I'm saying? The Control song, the Control verse wasn't even a diss at Drake. It was just to say, hey, this is competition. All right. So it wasn't like a long hate rivalry from back then. You know what I'm saying? But there are so many famous people that these people are not dissing. You get what I'm saying? I'm guessing because he's #1. He's been #1 for so long. Everybody want to aim at him. Why not look at him? You know what I'm saying? Why not look at that person to see, hold on, why is everybody hating you though? You know what I'm saying? But that's also an easy way to say that's why he lost the battle, because everybody is against him. He just got to deal with Disney. He just got to collab with the NFL, the Simpsons collab. Drake is still winning. He's still the most streamed artist of the year. I would like to see how this plays out in the trial of saying that the defamation caused him to lose all these sponsorships when you are getting all these new sponsorships. Even a sponsorship with the NFL, who is putting on the halftime show for the Super Bowl with Kendrick. We got to stop thinking that everybody cares about the little rap beef. It's big in our community. But when you start going around, the NFL don't hate Drake because he beefing with Kendrick. They not playing them type of games. You get what I'm saying? Like, you go to court and say, this man was bad mouthing me. This nigga was bad mouthing me. That's why I'm suing. And he's because of that, I'm losing deals and money. Your Anita Max Win tour is doing pretty good selling wise, I see. Again, the collaborations you have, most stream artists, like fam, you gotta let some shit go, man. But I don't know. I think it's funny that we think in our hip hop world that because somebody is beefing with somebody, that a company like Walmart will play with the games of, oh, y'all don't like Kendrick? Okay, then we going over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they post these things online, when you see all the companies posting mustard and, with the screaming mustard, it's not because they are such fans of Kendrick. It's how the internet works. It's the algorithm. If Drake would have won, they would have done the same. It's not a thing that they're trying to keep Kendrick or Drake down. At least not now. UMG could be. But I'm talking about all the other companies surrounding Drake and Kendrick battle. Like the Lay's potato chips, Hans ketchup, they not caring that Kendrick beat Drake or Drake no longer likes. They don't give a fuck about that. They just trying to make money. And right now the money is in Kendrick's side. So if they're gonna put out shirts and limited edition mustard bottles with the mustard spelled out, that's only because Kendrick is winning. Either way, I felt myself kind of, now I'm in my thoughts just thinking about like the rap beef is more than just the rap beef is more than just black and white. It's more than just black and white, right? Either way, the big three right now is on. You got Kendrick, the GNX tour, Drake, the Anita Max win tour, and then you got J. Cole. I think he just did the one show in New York, or if he didn't do it, it's coming up. But they also just announced the last Dreamville Fest. This is their 5th year, or to be next year, to be their 5th year doing the Dreamville Fest. And they say this the last one. I like what Cole has been doing with the Inevitable podcast thing. I think the last one just came out. I haven't listened to it yet. They drop them like every other day. Along with listening to music and listening to podcasts, I haven't been able to keep up with the Inevitable podcast. Also because it's on their website. So when you want to do certain things or you close your phone or stuff like that, it just stopped playing. So I haven't really been able to just sit and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard a little bit of it, of course. But along with that, they have dropped the old school mixtapes online on DSPs, and also announced the Madison Square Garden performance. And I think if you bought the podcast, you also get free live viewing on the website when they do the concert. And then, like I said, he just announced Dreamville Fest. If you don't know, Dreamville Fest is J. Cole's festival. There are festivals everywhere, but this will be his last one. I don't know if this leads. It's kind of tallying up like J. Cole is preparing to retire. That's just what it seemed like. The Fall Off seeming to be his last album. He's also going through his catalog and posting up old songs, old mixtapes. On the podcast, they are listening to old music, unreleased music, him and Eve. Uh, and then having this to be the last Dreamville Fest. I won't make it to this one. I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to Dreamville Fest one time, but I mean, it's so many festivals. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially this year coming up with everybody touring. You got we're going to Tyler Creator concert. You got Bonnaroo, which is the festival I go to every year. You got Kendrick on tour. It's just a lot of moving around. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to go to Australia, you can also see Drake, which I ain't taking that flight. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how that. I don't know how what's fully on J. Cole's plate, and if he is done. I don't see him completely backing away from music, because as of right now, he is actually take away from him backing out of the beef. He is rapping at a very, very high level. So even if he say this is his last album, he might want to step away, because Dreamville as a label seems to be not falling apart, but not really connected. You know what I'm saying? So if he stopped rapping, then, or if he stopped focusing on him fully, maybe him and Eve take that turn to actually make sure that Dreamville can be Dreamville. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I mean, you got J. Cole, JID. I mean, that's really, I mean, it just seemed to be falling apart. But um, along with tours, I don't know if a lot of y'all listen to System of a Down. System of a Down is a rock group, right? I love System of a Down. My main thing is to one day be able to see System of a Down live before it's too late, right? Right now they have a 3-date tour. I think one is in Canada, one is in New York, one is in Chicago. Each date they are performing with a different group, or they're I don't know how they're gonna do it, but their opener is a different opener. Um, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I would love to make it to Chicago, Soldier Field, and watch System of a Down perform live, right? Um, so that's another tour that if you want to be a part of, it's only 3 dates right now. Hopefully they get more dates, because as soon as they say System of a Down is one of them tickets that I would pay pretty much whatever I need to pay to see them live, right? At this point, right? I've seen Kendrick live, I've seen Eminem, I've seen Jay-Z, I've seen the Lumineers, there are 3 people that I want to see live. I mean, I want to see a bunch more, but Drake is on that list, Kanye is on that list, Adele, and System of a Down, so 4, right? System of a Down is one of them. System of a Down and Kanye West are 2 tickets that if I have it, now, I mean, the prices can be the prices, but if I have it and I can afford it, I would pay pretty much anything to see them live, right? To see Chop Suey live, to see Toxicity live, to see Sugar live, like that's a whole nother thing, right? Last thing in well, not the last thing in music, because I do want to touch on some releases, but Andre 3000, after the Flute album, after he just put out another, I guess, 3-track Flute album, there's word that he has set, that he has set with Kendrick. Also, Drake, he said he has been inspired from the rap beef to rap, right? With him saying earlier this year that in 2025 he will continue to make music and get back into music, and then now him saying he has been sitting and listening to beats with Kendrick and Drake, hopefully we get some rapping. So I don't even need a full album. I would be okay getting a verse a month from Andre 3000. Just be on different people's albums. Like, hearing 3K rap is something different. Like when he was on the Donda album, or I know this is going back, but on the Blonde album, hearing him rap is just great. So if he can put something together, I'm here for it. Since Dody is not here today, I'm not going to review the Eve album. We'll save that for next week. But a few albums dropped this week. A few that I've been listening to. You got Rock Marciano with Skeleton Key, Smino, maybe in Nirvana. You got the DMX release. Now, the DMX release is only like 4 songs. I haven't listened to it yet. I got it written down because I want to. I'm not a real big on what's it called, posthumous albums, after death albums. I'm not really big on that because I don't know, especially now, I don't know if it's AI. I don't know where the music is coming from. I don't know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not big on it, but I'm gonna make myself. I'm gonna get to it though, just to see what it is. I heard the first track, and it's just prayer. You got Killer Mike on there talking, and then it goes into DMX, and then I just turned it off after that. You got Boss Man D-Lo. Boss Man D-Lo. I am a huge fan of Boss Man D-Lo. He give me those early Jeezy, like trap vibes, like let's go get some money. Like nothing else matter, let's go get some money, right? So he brought out D-Lo Carry, which is his newest album. The only thing about Boss Man D-Lo is it's like when he rap, each song he has a checklist of things that he want to put in the song. He want to make sure he's speeding, right? And he want to tell you that he's speeding, but he also want to tell you what car he's speeding in. He also want to tell you once he get there what floor he on and what kind of shoes he about to take off, and give you a sports reference. I done heard this nigga dunking like 57 times. But the thing about Boss Man, he make that shit sound good every single time. Shout out to Boss Man D-Lo. I love the new album. But the one album that I have been listening to a little bit more, besides the GNX album, Snoop Dogg put out Missionary, which they have been. So 2 things, or a few things. Him and Dr. Dre have been on they've been promoting the hell out of it, right? They got little short films, they got all these commercials on the internet, and They've been going on different talk shows, doing different interviews and stuff, and they are billing it as a Dr. Dre or a Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre album. Snoop Dogg is the rapper and Dr. Dre is the producer. They saying Dr. Dre produced all the tracks, but they make it seem like Dr. Dre is the only one producing the tracks. Once you read them credits, Dr. Dre ain't the only one producing the tracks. Not that it's bad or anything. I don't quite understand why they billing it as a Snoop and Dr. Dre album. Dr. Dre does rap on I think like 2 or 3 songs. The instrumentals are the beats to me are like kind of everywhere. Like I don't. So they call it the missionary album, which we've talked about. Why would you call an album like your part 1, part 2? Because you want to put people in the mind of that album. They also keep saying that this is not a follow up to Doggy Style type thing, but they calling it missionary. It's still kind of putting you in that mind. But when you listen to it, it's not that, right? It seemed like they had not bad, but it seemed like they wanted to try some things. Like there was real no real direction on the album. It's just like we got some songs, let's put them together. There's a few songs on here that Snoop is rapping at a clip that I've never heard Snoop really rapping at. So I'm not even for sure. And Snoop came out before and said he don't, if somebody writes something in sound fire, he gonna rap it. You know what I'm saying? A couple of these sound like he didn't write all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of them, and I don't know the name of it, but you can tell that M wrote that verse from him or for him. And then you can tell on certain songs. I think the song with Sting, I think they said Russ wrote Sting's part, but you can also tell Russ wrote other parts of the song. It's not a bad album. It's not a great album. It's just kind of like there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just there. If you like Snoop, cool, you'll vibe with it. I think this is his 20th album. 20 albums is crazy, but the production is cool. It just don't sound Dr. Dre-ish, if that makes sense. I tell you what, the Compton album that Dr. Dre put out, and Dody actually brought that to my attention. It kind of sound a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? But it don't really sound Dr. Dre-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, but either way, it's a cool album. Will I listen to it again? Definitely not. Now, saying I wouldn't listen to it again is crazy because I've listened to it multiple times this week just to try to get a feel of it. They got a song with 50 Cent and Eminem on there. If y'all been watching this podcast for the duration of it, y'all know M is my favorite rapper. Man, he can rap still, but he at a point now he just seemed like he trying to prove he can put words together. But either way, that's what I wanted to. Oh yeah, shout out to TDE had their Christmas drive out there in California. They had Dochi out there, Kendrick, Schoolboy, Absol, J Rock, Zakari, Lefty Gunplay. I think Glorilla was out there. They had a few folks out there putting that party together. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them, right? Yeah, I guess that's it, right? This is my stand-in right here. He come to help me today get this together. That's pretty much it. You see how it's a shorter pod when it ain't two niggas in here laughing at everything. Two niggas in here laughing at everything being said, and we just kind of going through the news of the week. You know what I'm saying? We are at the end of the year. We still, we will have episodes before the year out. our last episode will be like a year wrap up and talk about our favorite things of the year. Hopefully, we can get a Uncle Murder drop before our last episode of the year. Because I know this year, I know he got his work cut out for him this year because so much stuff done happened that he gonna have a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about, starting with Cat Williams uh, stepping out and going crazy for the year. Football wise, shout out to Travis Hunter winning the Heisman. A lot of people think Genty should have won it. You got that. The playoff start next week. Me as a Tennessee fan, we got Ohio in Ohio. Um, hopefully we can handle that, which I think would be good. Our defense is pretty good, and their offense is kind of sketchy at times, so I think we'll be all right. But we do have our work cut out for them. We get past them, I think we run into Oregon, so on, so on. So we'll be back next week, hopefully with a W. Hopefully with a W. And yeah, I do appreciate you all for listening to another episode of Late to the Party with Dody and Reggie. I am Reggie. Shout out to Dody. And we're going to be back next week. And then next week, I think Eve will be our last review album of the year, depending on how our schedules work out for the end of the year. This is the holidays. You got Christmas, New Year's. But depending on how it works out, I think Eve will be the last album of the year that we review. And then we'll jump in 2025 with some new music and see what's shaking. All right? Thank you. Peace. And don't forget, one is the only number that you ever know. Peace.